started with December 7th and the sinking of the Arizona. The story I want to tell about, which is a true story, took place on September 2nd in 1945, when the instrument of formal surrender of Japan to the Allied powers was signed, thus ending the Second World War. The stories, there are really two stories. They came from the 60th anniversary of the celebration that my wife Joyce, who's in the audience with me, and myself were attended as invited guests. One of them relates to leadership, and I think is particularly appropriate to all of the cadets here. Leadership is not something you're born with. Leadership is not necessarily something you're taught. Leadership is something you need to grasp when the time comes and move forward. A Lieutenant JG on the USS Missouri, and I'm from Missouri, so I pronounce it that way instead of Missouri, but was called in by Admiral Nimitz and told that on the time when the signing was take place, he would be the officer of the deck. And it was his job to write the protocol because it did not exist. First of all, whatever protocol existed was written more than a year ago, a year before that, and there would be 2 5-stars on board, so there was no protocol related to that. There would be 9 nations, allied nations with ranking members, and his job was to handle all of that. And that he did, including the 2 5-stars were Admiral Nimitz, who's flag commander for the Allies in the Pacific, and General Douglas MacArthur, who is Supreme Commander of Allied forces in the Pacific. One other speaker that day was a cab driver from Brooklyn. He still had his Brooklyn accent. He told the story about how he was about to be drafted into the Army, and he decided that was not what he wanted because they would put him to work driving cars. So what did he do? He joined the Navy. And what did they do? They put him to work driving boats. He was the one who drove the launch that brought Emperor Hirohito from shore to the USS Missouri for the signing. The Emperor was dressed in tails, formal tails, top hat. When they got to the boat, to the ship, they loaded him onto a sling lift, and whatever dignity he had and had lost up to that point, on his way up to the deck, he almost lost his top hat, and I'm sure he lost all of his dignity. But it was a very humorous story and a very important one because World War II, in all of World War II, more than 55 million civilians and military lost their lives. And what we've seen here tonight is people who've served there, who have served since then, who have stood in harm's way to bring us to the great country that we are today. And it's to you, the cadets, that we look towards for the future, who will bring us forward, and it gives us tremendous hope as we look at you and see what you're doing. Thank you for the time, and thank you for the opportunity.
sacrifice you